everyone, and welcome to Jack and Cat Adventures. Today we're going to be making sweet empanadas. They're really easy and they're very delicious. They just take a long time because they have to sit in the refrigerator for 8 hours, okay? So kind of give you leeway for that. So let's get started. In a bowl you're going to need 4 ounces of butter softened, that's 1 stick of the American, 3 ounces of cream cheese softened. We're going to mix this until it's nice and smooth. Alright, while that's mixing, I'm going to go over a few things with you. After this is mixed thoroughly, you're going to need 5 ounces of flour. I measured mine with my kitchen scale. And then you're going to need fillings. Now, you only need 1 can because you won't even use a full can. I'm actually doubling my recipe, and I wanted to make 2 different flavorings. So I'm using apple pie filling and peach pie filling. When it's time, after the 8 hours after this dough sits, I'm going to open these and I'm going to chop it up a little bit smaller because they're pretty big pieces and the empanadas are small. So I'm going to chop all that up, but you need to go and get yourself some pie filling. You can also use jam. I find that the jam runs out, it's not thick enough, but if you only have jam at home, go ahead and use that. Once your mixture is creamed nicely, make sure you scrape the sides and the bottom a couple times. You're going to add your flour. This is a really easy recipe. The hardest part is letting it set for 8 hours. I'm just kind of doing this a little bit at a time because I don't want my flour to go all over. Alright, so take your mixture and you're going to make a smooth ball out of it. A little bit more. I doubled my recipe so I'm going to do 2 balls. This recipe is very easy to double or triple, whatever you need to do. Alright, and I'm just going to listen to a smooth ball. And I'm just going to put it in my saran, and then I'm going to put this in the refrigerator for 8 hours. Alright, so now my dough has sit for 8 hours in the fridge, and I pulled it out 20 minutes before I'm going to use it. Now, if it's too hard, let it sit out just for a couple more minutes. You don't want it soft. It gets too soft and you can't work with the dough. I have a dumpling maker here. If you don't have a dumpling maker, just roll it out to a 1/4 inch thick, cut it into a 3-inch circle, and then you're going to put a little dab of your pie filling in the middle. You're going to wet the edges just lightly, and then you're going to close it and take a fork and go all the way, go around the half moon. So mine does it for me. This is what I'm talking about, the half moon. And if you have this dumpling maker, make sure you flour it, but don't go heavy on the flour. You don't want these cookies to have a bunch of flour on them because they're supposed to be real tender. And so what we did was we just put a little bit of flour on the ball. I'm going to knock some of this off. And then we're just going to make the dumpling. Alright, and I didn't tell you, I just took like 1-inch balls and rolled it in between hands. Now after you roll it, if it's still too soft, put it in the
throw it on the floor.
Put it in the freezer or in the refrigerator just for a couple of minutes. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of flour on this because I don't want it to stick to my baller. And I'm just going to push down like so. Oh, and I got this at Temu for like $6. And it's so much easier than cutting out everything. Now it comes right off like that. Then we're going to put it in our little shaper. And we're just going to put a little bit. Now I chopped up all of my filling because I wanted small pieces. The peach comes really big, and you get like a half of a peach in each thing. Then all I'm going to do is roll this over like that, press down.
What's nice about that, it trims off the excess off the edge.
It's wonderful. And then just set it on an ungreased cookie sheet. Now, I'm using the Shape to Bake. Get them on eBay. They last forever. You can wash both sides with soap. Alright, so you're going to have your oven preheated 375. I don't remember if I told you that, sorry. And now you're going to put them on an ungreased cookie sheet. I'm using my Shape to Bake pan liners. Now you have to get these. They're so much better than a Silpat. You can use them for anything. I bake everything. I cook everything on these because nothing sticks to them. You wash them with soap and water both sides, and they last forever. I think I've had them, some of them, for 20 years. The only reason I replaced them is because somebody cut pizza on them and they cut them. But I recommend getting these. They are so worth it. They're not expensive. You get a bunch in a container. So check that. They're called Shape with the number 2 and Bake. Once you have them on your sheet, make sure they're really sealed good. We're going to put them in our oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Once your empanadas are in the oven, you're going to need to mix 3 ounces of sugar and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. If you don't want to measure it, use your heart on how much you want to put. I usually put a little extra cinnamon in mine. I just like it. What you're going to do is immediately when they come out of the oven, you're going to roll them in the cinnamon sugar and then put them on a cooling rack.
And you're going to burn your fingers.
Yeah, well, that's part of the fun. Alright, so here's our finished product. I do recommend getting the dumpling maker. After a couple of tries, it seems to lubricate itself a little bit with the flour and stuff, so you don't have to add as much flour. Don't add a lot of flour, just kind of work with the dough. If it's too soft, put it in the refrigerator. If it's too hard, pull it out. You'll get it even. It's really easy. Jack said these are phenomenal and they are really light and airy. So please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And remember, you do you.